All right, welcome back to the program. Like I did say at the beginning of the program, we'll be looking at closing the gap for women smallholder farmers in Nigeria. Joining me right now is my guest, Mary Ishaya Afan, who is the National President, Small Scale Women Farmers Organization in Nigeria. Good morning, ma'am, if you can hear me.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, ma'am. Good morning, and thanks for joining us. Can we see you? Have you turned on your
Yes,
video so
yes.
that we can see
Thank you
you?
so much. I've on my video. Can you see me?
Okay, yes, I can see you now. I can see you now. Welcome again to the program. Where should we start from? Can you give us an idea of what percentage of women are really involved in agriculture? Earlier on, I did say about 50 to 60%. I don't know if it is more now because the data that I quoted was as far back as 2016 or so. So to what extent do we have women farmers that are smallholder farmers in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you. The percentage of smallholder women farmers in Nigeria ranges from 70 to 80%. Not 50 to 60, 70 to 80%.
70 to 80%. That means it is.
And
okay.
Yes, 70 to 80%.
That means it has really increased. But for the fact that women are more in farming and in okay, is it okay? Let me ask this question: across what sectors of agriculture are these 70 to 80% of women found? Across what areas of agriculture?
Okay. If you are talking of agriculture, we are looking at areas like crop production, animal production, fishery, livestock, and even horticulture. Women are found in those areas. And when you are talking about the involvement of women in the agric sector, you find women in the production level, you find them at the processing level, you find them at the marketing level, and even you find them even at the export level. You find women across the value chain. So across the value chain, majority of the work in the agric sector, you find the women are the one doing it. So that is why you find us about 70 to 80% of the women are involved across this value chain.
Okay,
Be it crop or animals.
Be it crop or animals. So that means we're there. So what are the men really doing? Does it mean that with these statistics now that the women are really involved in, you know, the labor and the nitty gritty in agriculture? What part do the men play? Do the men now come in after the hard work has been done, planting, harvesting and all of that, then the men come in and do the business part of it? Because I'm going somewhere if you answer this question.
Yes, you see, women are found across this lens, but the issue is that they don't control the land. So there is a limit to how they can have access and control the land and land resources. They depend on either borrowing or hiring. And when it comes to the production level, you see that the woman is there putting her effort to produce the food. But when the time for marketing, the head of the family decides when to sell, where to sell, and how much, to be put into family use. So actually at that level, she have a less voice at that level. Her activity is mostly seen across the production level.
So women's activities are mostly seen across the production level. That means the other levels such as processing, the commercial levels, women are not seen there.
Even if they are seen there, mostly we are seen there as either at hired labor, or we are seen there, as buying from another person to sell after the value have been added, because we don't have the processing machine to process those products to add value. Somebody will collect the raw material from us, add value, and sell it to us again before we now sell it at the market. So, the revenue generated at that level is very little. If these women have access to this processing machine, as soon as they produce, they can also go into processing and add value to these products and make more revenue for themselves. So at the processing level and the marketing level, it's like they're working for somebody, and that somebody will be a man, not a woman.
You know, I, I'm finding it difficult to process that women, 80% of women are found in agriculture from the production level and all of that, and we cannot transform that energy and that, potential into the commercial part where women are owning businesses and all of that. You've itemized like 2 of the barriers. What other barriers are inhibiting women from taking advantage of so much that is being done in agriculture? Smallholder farmers, really, in agriculture. That means the women are really feeding us in Nigeria, if not even Africa. I think women really feed Africans, talking about food production and all of that. So
if you are establishing any industry, you need raw materials. And these raw materials are the ones produced by the women. We've been advocating to government on the need for them to support us smallholder farmers by providing us machines, which
oh, okay. Seems that the network is a bit.
not afford.
Okay, okay, I
We
can
are
hear you.
producing, we use implements that are outdated. We need women-friendly equipment like power tillers that a woman can operate to do her farm. And we need processing machines so that we can add value to this product. And as a woman farmer and a smallholder farmer, if you go to the bank, you want to access loan, to be able to buy those machines, the bank will ask you for collateral, which you don't have. If you don't have document for any land, even opening a bank account is an issue. If you go to the bank to open an account, you need the rural community, no light, no water. They will ask you to bring NEPA bill or water bill before the bank can open an account for you. If you open an account, they'll say the account cannot run because those documents must be complete. And you stay in a community where you don't have access to those things. So you see, there is no how you can move forward at that level. So the government need to look into those conditions and hindrances that allow a woman to scale her product by increasing her production and also adding value to whatever she's producing by packaging it. And secondly, if you package a product and you don't have approval from NAFTA, it's an issue. And as it is now, it is very, very, very difficult. There are conditions before NAFTA can approve that you do a mini processing and package product to the market. And such conditions are becoming difficult for us to accept.
Okay, ma'am, I don't think we
To
can.
make some of these
Okay,
conditions are way to produce and also add value to it. Thank you.
okay. Let's take it from here because I'm actually going somewhere. Like I said earlier, there was a World Bank report that was released in May, if I'm not mistaken. It's titled "Closing Gaps and Increasing Opportunities: A Diagnostic on Women's Economic Empowerment in Nigeria." And at the launch of that report, Julia Vayon, who is a senior economist at the World Bank and the head Gender Innovation Lab, during the presentation did say that women farm less valuable crops, because earlier you did talk about women found in crop production and animal husbandry and what have you. But for that World Bank report to say that women farm less valuable crops, we see men even doing the highly commercial crops like perhaps cocoa and all of that. And you see that this translates to how much women can make. And women also sell exclusively to final consumers. What do you have to say about that?
It's cutting. I'm not getting you clear. Can you come up again?
Okay, my question is that according to the World Bank, it's the World Bank did say some weeks ago that women farm less valuable crops. How do you think that this is really impacting the commercialization or perhaps the end product which women do have in terms of money, in terms of the naira capacity of it? I hope you understand what I mean. Because even for animal husbandry too, the World Bank also did say that men go for animals with higher value, like cows. We know how much a cow is, but women go for chickens. For example, that was not by me. That was said some weeks ago by the World Bank, and that affects also the productivity and the naira impact of it at the end of it for women.
Yes, you see, if you go to the West, where we have a cocoa plantation, I'll give one example. What the man will do is the woman should plant her vegetable inside the cocoa plantation. By doing that, she's helping him to weed his cocoa farm. And this cocoa farm will be harvested between, 5 to 10 years. Whereas the vegetable you are producing, it takes only 2 to 3 months you harvest. And because of that, you don't have a steady income coming in as a smallholder farmer. And at the end of the day, what the man will do is he will cocoa farm, process it, and take it to market and make more money. What we are actually saying is that the major hindrance why women does not have enough capital to, go into, processing, packaging is that we don't have the capacity because of lack of access and control of land and land resources. So you depend on planting a short-term crop whereby you can actually move, harvest, sell, and off you go. And this one becomes very, very difficult for us. And sincerely speaking, is what we have actually been talking around the world, even within Africa, within Nigeria, that there is need for these policies, land policies, to be looked into by government. Women of Africa have had the opportunity to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, to talk to the men of Africa, to the government of Africa. And I was one of the climbers. But these policies on land need to be changed to allow a woman to be able to have access to land, have documents for her land, so that if you want to increase your production, you can also take facilities in the bank and expand your production. The food you buy in the market every day is produced by the woman. I want you to know that. If you go to the market, you want to buy tomato, you want to buy onion, you want to buy cabbage, whatever thing you want to buy, the ones that are being produced by the woman. The man produces cocoa. He produces a very big maize farm where he can sell in and make a lot of money. But in some cultures in Nigeria and in Africa, a woman cannot inherit land. And you cannot even buy. If you have money, you can't buy in your name. You have to either buy in the name of your son or your husband. So these are the constraints. And the government is taking a deliberate attempt. That is why we looked for a gender policy in agric, which the Federal Ministry of Agriculture have done for us smallholder farmers. And we are using that document to advocate to government that all input in the agric sector, 35% of them should be given to smallholder women farmers, because we feed the nation. We put the food on the table of every household. It may interest you, Nancy, as you are sitting down there. If you go back home, you'll be the one to prepare food to give to your husband to eat and the children. You are also a farmer, because you are adding value to that food to be able for people to be able to eat it in the house. So there is no way you go, you don't find a woman across the value chain. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. And thank you that you raised that point, because even as I'm here seated, my family is also into farming, and In my own house, my husband graciously, set up a garden which we manage. So even in that my small garden, I have bitter leaf, I have ugu, I have tomatoes. Okay, now I have even tatashi, I have pineapple.
Good,
What else do I
good,
have? I have
good.
lemon, I have, green vegetables. So I can just go to my backyard and just, get stuff and put together. So in a way, I'm also a farmer. Like the president have said, eat what you
Yes,
produce and
you see,
produce
you are
what you,
supporting the family.
yes, yes, and produce
You are
what,
also a small-scale farmer, Nancy.
yes, I am. So it's
Thank
is
you.
that advocacy we should be talking about now, because majority of what we eat really come from women. But it's an interesting point which you talked about earlier in terms of land ownership. From that World Bank report also that was launched a few days ago, the World Bank did say that men are 5 times more likely than women to own lands, and are over about 70% of individual men own lands in Nigeria, and just about 8% of
Yes,
women
yes,
own lands. And you know that land is also wealth. With land, you can get collateral and what have you, and accumulate wealth.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
How,
yes.
how, how far do you think the
If
federal
you have
ministry?
land and you have document for those land, you go to the bank, they'll give you facility. That's your collateral.
Yes.
But
How,
you don't have anything to hold on as a woman.
how far do you think that the Ministry
Uh,
of Agriculture and Rural Development can go in terms of, making this policy more wholesome? I heard you earlier where you said the Federal Ministry of Agriculture is doing quite a bit. And at the launch of the World Bank report some weeks ago, I moderated it, and a representative of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture did say, okay, we're doing this, we're doing that. But I told him that perhaps what you guys are doing over there is not really enough. What do you think?
Yeah, the policy have just been passed, and we are advocating that the policy should be documented a step down to the community level. What we have done is to simplify the document so that our women in the rural community, we can use it to do advocacy, even at the local government level. Government need to know that whatever thing they are bringing in the agric sector, 35% must be given to women. And we need to occupy that space. This document was developed by the Federal Ministry of Agri, and they have also set up a implementation committee to look at how they can make both the federal government, the state government, and the local government to abide by that policy so that women can have access to input so that they can be able to produce. Sincerely speaking, if we are talking of food security, the woman must be targeted. She must be empowered so that especially the smallholder woman farmer, because if she doesn't produce enough to feed the family, you will not have anything to take to the market for people to get and buy. So we are actually talking with the federal and state government through advocacy that they should respect that policy. 35% of all inputs, be it equipment, be it a fertilizer, be it pesticide, be it seedlings, 35% should be given to women. And by doing that, you are targeting bringing food security to the country. And that is what we are working on now.
Now, let's talk about this financial access and take it a bit to the financial organizations, that's those like banks and other financial institutions. Do you think that enough is being done to enable women have more financial access? I know that the Central Bank of Nigeria, for example, there is a financial inclusion policy. Of course, it's been extended now to 2025. We couldn't achieve financial inclusion in 2020. What do you think that banks, even the Monetary Authority, which is CBN, and other financial organizations can do to increase financial access for Nigerian women, and not even just Nigerian women, but Nigerian women in agriculture? I also do know that they have a business case. They have to make money. They are profit-making organizations. A bank can't just give somebody money without a collateral. But what really can be done to assist women in agriculture?
Sincerely speaking, if the federal government or the government want to assist women in agriculture, they should remove any issue about uh, financial institutions like commercial banks, because their major aim is to make profit. If the federal government releases any money into the bank and said, give these people, farmers, at a single digit, there are other hidden charges in that money. Bank will not tell you at the initial stage. Only after checking the bill, you will see them adding this. Before you know it, you are working for them, not working for yourself. If you are lucky to recover their money, if you don't recover their money, they follow after you. I have an example of women from Ghana that committed suicide. They took loan from the bank. The bank was disgracing them, following them to their family with security. They committed suicide. What I'm seeing the federal government doing is this anchor borrower that the central bank is actually working on. That is a very, very good um, a policy that we think that women can leverage on. But the people working at that place don't really understand that there are people according to categories. The conditions you will give to a big farmer, you don't give such conditions to a smallholder farmer. And it becomes difficult for the smallholder farmers to access such facilities. So the rich continue to get rich, the poor continue to get poor. Because the rich can access it because they can meet the condition. If the federal government can redesign the anchor borrower to take in cognizance of the smallholder farmers, looking at the environment they're coming from, the areas they're coming from, and making it more simpler and better, I think it would be a very welcome idea. And I'm quite sure we will do more better than what we are doing. Thank you.
Now, what is the role of training really for women so that there's that we can promote social emotional skills for women across board, especially smallholder farmers? That's one. The second part is what you said earlier in terms of the Anchor Borrowers program by the Central Bank of Nigeria, that there should be women inclusion in terms of smallholder farmers there. I guess they are watching, so perhaps they will take note of that. How about microcredit as well as even mesocredit for women farmers across board?
Sincerely speaking, as I told you, farming is a business that whatever you put on ground is what you get out. If you are taking a facility, I'm taking a facility, I want to start farming in April. I start processing in December, and by May, that facility is not released, and they release the money for you by July. Definitely, you know that you have entered trouble. You cannot do farming by July. Even if you do farming, definitely you are going to at a loss. And I'm looking at it because if you look at the anchor borrower, they structure it in a form that, all the person that will supply you with all the input you are going to start farming, you will start with the person from the beginning. Whatever facilities they are giving you, they are not even giving you cash. They give you in form of input. What you need to do is just to provide the land. They will even provide who will come and do the land preparation if you meet the condition. And so an off-taker is already there to buy from you. So you don't have problem. But the issue is that the condition in assessing that one is very, very good. Sincerely speaking, we have had stories of this financial institutions. If you put on crop, you have to insure it. Insurance company will come and tell you, okay,
Yeah.
you pay in for your insurance. By the time there is a problem, either flood wash your land, the insurance will come and supervise and say, okay, you didn't do your land preparation very well. So the problem is your own. They won't pay you. And if they don't pay you, you're in trouble. You can see there's a lot of things that, and I'm telling you, my organization, I'm happy. We've been receiving a lot of training, both from private and government, to be able to actually engage. And this thing has helped us seriously. And we've been collaborating with even the insurance company. Sometimes back if they say if cattle resting in your land, they won't pay. But they have now included that if cattle destroy your land, insurance company will pay you. So we've been establishing relationship. But sincerely speaking, with the financial institution, we've never gotten that. There seems to be so difficult to reach, especially the commercial bank. They are after their money and their interest, and that is all. And I wouldn't advise anybody to go into borrowing money in the bank to go into farming. You become a slave that you will die and leave your children. Because you can start farming for the first time, you lose all your investment. And as a farmer, you don't stop, you start all over again. So by the time you lose your investment, the banks will not leave you. They will be following after you. So what you do is you start small and grow and join federal government programs like the Anko Borrower Program. Sincerely speaking, they have been trying with the big farmers. And some of us have seen the impact they have created, but there's still much to be done for smallholder farmers to be included, especially women across the board.
I like that you brought up the issue of insurance because you almost took it out of my mouth. Not just about the weather index insurance for crops that women do farm, but even health insurance for the women, as because it decreases the risk that women will face in farming. So thank you for bringing that up. As we close, are there other things that you would like the government to do? That's one. The second part of it also is that as much as we talk about the government or financial institutions and all of that, what kind of cooperation should we see from women farmers, smallholder female farmers across the country? Are you having enough cooperation from women? Are they forming groups? Are they forming unions so that when things from government comes, farm input, fertilizers and all of that or whatever, they are able to take advantage of these opportunities?
Okay, thank you. What we have actually talked to government is to have the full database of who is a farmer. Because you see, if government releases input, most of the time it goes into political farmers that they don't have a good farm. They buy it and sell it to the marketers. It doesn't actually reach to the real beneficiaries who are producing the food. But my organization, we are over 500,000, and all these women are registered across cooperatives. Because of our constant advocacy, the government, federal government have actually identified that, yes, these are the real women farmers. And anytime they have anything to distribute to farmers, they call on our organization because we are spread across all the 36 states, including FCT. And government should try and make sure that they have the database of all the real smallholder farmers, so that anytime, if you look at what happened in the in the GES, where they will send you text message to go and collect your input, we didn't have any problem. The moment you register, you have access to your input. Government should reach that situation whereby they know where their farmers are, they know where the farm is, and they can locate their women to their farm. And secondly, we even want government to provide market. Government have silos where they keep food. If you look at what happened during the lockdown, the food in the silos was the one that was used to feed the people in the city that they don't have food in their houses. And it was the one they were giving it to household to support them. We want government to make sure that as they give us input.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. I want to say thank you for joining us again. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for those insights. Thank you also for what you do. To all women that are feeding the country, I salute all of you. I salute all of you. But so much still needs to be done. I've been speaking with Mary Ishaya Afan, who is the National President, Small Scale Women Farmers Organization in Nigeria, and we've been talking about the financial inclusion gap for women smallholder farmers in Nigeria. That's the much you can take on today's edition of the program. Thank you all for joining us. Be the best you can be and be that change that you want to see. I am Nancy Naji. Bye now.